For the Johngy OR Else podcast, we are very happy, very excited to welcome into our studios from abroad, Stacey McManus, Olympian from Australia. How are you, Stacey?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Doing good. Good to see you again.
We're good. Nice to meet you, Stacey.
Haven't seen you in a couple of years since you were playing National Pro Fastpitch.
Yes, it's been a few years since I've been over in Chicago.
So let me ask you about when you came over to there were 8 of you from Team Australia. You came over to the Chicago Bandits. What was that experience like for you?
It was a very different experience for us Aussies coming over there because we don't really have that kind of competition. And for us over here, we have to work jobs and that to be able to play softball, but to head over there and have it as our full-time job and just have softball as our one priority, it was an eye-opener for us and probably one of the best experiences I've had.
What did you think of the level of competition as compared to your team, your usual team, I should say, like Team Australia?
Yeah, so I just feel that in America and in the pro leagues, the level of softball is just so much higher than what we do get over here in Australia. So our highest level here would be nationals, and that's where you have the Australian team split up into 5 other states, and we compete against each other. So it's a bit different, and it's not as high as what it would be over in America. Yeah, so that was one thing that was good about being in the pros, is that we were facing like high quality competition every day.
Now, from a fan's viewpoint, obviously I'm a Chicago Bandits fan. It was such a unique experience for us because we never saw elite players from the other side of the world come over to our team. But it wasn't like you guys came over and you were outsiders. You guys came over and blended right in. Your mom was there. She gave me a koala bear. Your fans over there were constantly on social media. There's back and forth. For us, it was such a cool experience just from that aspect. How was it for you from that type of angle?
Yeah, it was awesome for us too. Like when we headed over there, and Tony did a great job getting us all settled in to where we're living and getting us in and getting to know the team. And I mean, the girls just welcomed us in so easily. Like it was just like our second family. And I'll have lifelong friendships that I have from that, being in that team. And yeah, like it was just like a community. You guys got behind us, and everyone back home got behind our whole team. So it was
So
great.
you still talk to some of them?
Yeah, I talked to Brianna, Abby, and Em Carasoni, which I caught up with at the Olympics. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Emily
Nice.
played for Team Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And then after one season with the Bandits, the Team Aussie ended up having their own team. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was a bit different heading over there as an Aussie team and going over to play against all the girls in the pro leagues. Like we struggled in the start because we weren't used to playing high quality softball back to back to back. So I think, but it was good that those of us who were there with the Bandits the year before were able to give insight to the players and the coaches of, like what it feels like to play back to back and what we need to do to make things better. And then in the end, we were able to start winning some games. So that was great.
Yeah, you guys had a remarkable improvement. It's not that you were horrible in the beginning, but you guys got really hot and were extremely competitive by mid to end of the season. And it was really cool to watch the team. I don't know if I rise up to the level of competition or whatever, but you guys really turned it on.
Yeah, I guess it was just getting that high quality softball exposure a lot of the time. Like I said, we only get together once a year to have our nationals, and even then it's not as high quality as what back to back playing in the NPF was. So yeah, I mean, you can only get better, right, once you start getting that exposure. Yeah, you just got it. You have no choice. You got to keep getting up and battling every day.
So can you take us to the Olympics? What was your first thought? What was when you first got out there, even before you played, when you first kind of landed and wow, I'm at the Olympics?
Let me even preempt that a little bit. What was it like when you first got the news you're going to the Olympics?
Yeah, so it was pretty exciting and a bit surreal. I mean, when you hear the words out of your coach's mouth saying like the selectors and I have decided that we want you to represent Australia at the Olympics, like, that was pretty cool. And I guess at that stage you kind of didn't really know what to do because it was the selection based and all the other girls had to go through to the coach, find out their fate, and then so it was pretty surreal. So and then we got like our happy coats and we got a big plane ticket to say that, you know, we were going to the games. And so it wasn't actually till like 4 weeks later, I think it was, or 3 or 4 weeks later, we headed into the village. And then we were like, okay, now we're here. You drive down the street and you see like Team USA's building, Team GB's building, and then you see Team Australia's building in the big green and gold. So I think like that's where it hits you too.
And are you playing on a baseball field out there as opposed to a usual softball field? Did that make a big difference at all?
No, not for us really, because I think the past times we've been to Japan, we've played on that type of setup, and we were in Japan from the 1st of June, and that was our setup, playing this tiny softball diamond on a big baseball field with grandstand. And so yeah, we kind of get used to it, and I think we quite liked it because we don't have artificial turf back here in Australia, so it was good to play on artificial turf. And
Why is that? What makes that better?
why do I like turf? I fell in love with artificial turf when I played for the Chicago Bandits, and their field fully turf, so I loved it there. I think the ball it's even bounces, and it just comes off like it plays a lot different than dirt. And I guess I got to play. You get to play in turf shoes, which are a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said that you've been to Japan a few times. You've been there multiple times. How many times have you been there?
I probably would say 7 times.
Wow.
Yeah, because we played Japan Cup there, and we've had a world champs there, and yeah.
so did playing in an empty stadium in the Olympics, did that affect the team spirit, the team, morale, excitement at all?
No, not really. We're used to kind of playing in front of only 100 or so, a couple hundred here in Australia when we have some tournaments. Our nationals, we get a few more, but we generally don't play in front of huge crowds. So when we went over there, and our practice games were in front of no one, so we kind of got used to the sound of no one. And at the Olympics though, it was quite eerie because although there was no one there in this massive stadium, we had helicopters flying over us, we had media in the stands and taking photos and all that. And I think it still felt like there was a lot of people there, but not really anyone overpowering you with lots of cheering and booing.
What would be the one or two, aside from actually playing, the 1 or 2 greatest memories or takeaways you have from the Olympics?
My probably biggest memory in the Olympics would be sitting around with all the other Aussie athletes and watching other people compete in the games. And at that stage it was a swimming, and we were doing well, so the atmosphere was great. And again, also going into our the cafeteria where we had all the food and had all our meals there. So that was pretty surreal walking into that. It was a double level and it was huge, like a shopping mall. So
2 floors, huh? 2 floors of food.
Wow. Yeah. It's hard to top. Now,
do they have, I know like they're probably catering for the athletes and stuff, but like, do they have like, cookies and cake and stuff if you want that stuff too?
Yeah. I think anything you wanted, really, you could get, apart from McDonald's, which I was a bit upset about. But I've heard at other games there was McDonald's in the athletes' village. But this time they had like bakery section and pizza, from your pizza and pasta to your sushi and dumplings. There was everything in between, and obviously the salad.
Did you try anything new?
I don't think I did try anything new. I'm not real huge on going outside of what I would usually eat type of person. So
Not very. No, I'm the same way. I'm not very adventurous when it comes to
especially
food. I stick
yeah,
to what I know. So
especially during the Olympics, you don't know what you need to
right,
perform.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
Good
You
point.
don't something starts messing with your stomach or who knows what. Yeah, it's better to not the time to start experimenting. So
Yeah, it's a very good point you have there.
yeah.
Yeah, so no,
So I here, sorry to cut you off. I just have a couple observations here. I see you're wearing a necklace. Is that it looks like an Olympic is that the
yeah,
Olympic symbol there? Did you get that while you were out there?
yeah. My mom. Oh no, my mom. Which way? How do I? Yeah, my mum got me it done for me. So it's got the Olympic rings and
Oh,
Australia, and it's got number 4.
yeah.
Just
Sounds
there.
like your mom's a very big supporter. She came all the way out to the US and everything to see you play.
Yes, probably the Olympics is the only tournament she hasn't seen me play. So
Oh,
Well, she's originally from New Jersey, right? Or she
Yeah.
at least lived in. She's from New Jersey.
yeah, she was born in New Jersey. She came out to Australia when she was 16 years old.
So
and then
she,
I noticed on your shirt too. So you've got the kangaroo, and is that an ostrich on the other side there too?
It's an emu.
Oh,
emu.
it's an emu. Okay, all right. And those are those? I'm
They're our
assuming those
coat
are
of
the.
arms because, fun fact, both of these animals don't go backwards.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. Well, that's
Wow.
good.
Now we've learned something. I
Yeah.
didn't. I'm a huge emu fan, and I didn't know that.
What
So
do you mean
thank
you're
you.
a huge emu fan? Like
I
what? Like you
love
have posters
emus.
up or something in your apartment?
I got a stuffed emu back here. I do. I love emus. I think they're a very cool
Well,
animal.
that's a whole nother story. I
Well,
don't want
that's
to
what
hear
I've
about.
heard. So I hope I'm not wrong.
Well, we're going with it anyway.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I can't say that I've ever seen either one of them go backwards before. So I've never seen a kangaroo go backwards. That's for sure. I can't speak to emus, but I'm not the expert that John apparently is on them. So.
Apparently. No, with your mom being from New Jersey, is that how you came across being a fan of the New York Yankees, or is there a story behind
Yeah, I think that I didn't really have a choice.
that?
But yeah, I think like the whole family is a huge Yankees fan, and I mean, from New Jersey, they went to plenty of games. Just caught the train up into New York. So
Have you been to Jersey?
yes, I was there in 2019 when I was playing for the Aussie Peppers. We
Mhm.
had a week break, and I went home, and we've still got family there. So I went and spent a week there. It was pretty cool. I didn't get to see a Yankees game. I went to
Oh,
City Field.
that was my next question. Yes.
Yeah.
I went to watch the Mets play because they were in town. The Yankees were up at Boston, so I wish I had more time to go
Oh.
up there, and that would have been
That would have
great.
been a good game. Yeah, that would have been a good game.
Yeah,
Yes, and Derek Jeter might be one of your favorites.
yeah. I don't know if you know, but he's actually my husband. I don't think he knows either.
Oh, well,
Well, now it's out. Now we all
Well,
know.
if we cross paths, we'll remind him.
All
So
right, yeah.
when
Just
when
let him
you're
know I'm still here.
yeah, when your anniversary comes around, he'll remember. So
Stacey,
like-
before I forget, I wanted to ask you about meeting the tennis player, one of your favorites. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, so I was in the Olympic store down in the village, and I seen her walk past, and I was umming and ahhing whether I should go get my photo with her because a few of the other girls did when she was in the village a couple of days before. And I didn't know, like I knew she was going to be heading to our Team Australia building, but I didn't know she was going into a room or just going to be out there to hang. So I chased her about 500 meters up the road to get a photo with her, and she was nice about it. And we had a bit of a chat, asked how we were both going, and but actually later on, I'd been up to my room and I came back down, and there she was sitting outside watching the Olympics, and I was like, oh, didn't have to run after all.
Yeah. Hey, it's better to be sure,
Right.
See, that's a great story because for regular fans like me and Tommy, we get pictures with athletes all the time. We try to get pictures with athletes all the time. So it's really cool to see an actual Olympian who wants a picture with another athlete.
Yeah.
What was it like as far as access? Like if you're in the Olympic Village and everything, like who's allowed in there besides competitors and coaches and stuff? I mean, like is it very limited to be in there, I would imagine?
For me, I feel like it was very high security.
Yeah.
So when we would be we'd be on the buses and we'd put our bags on, and then they would actually seal them shut with like a sticky tape. So then when we got to the ground, we would go through another security check to make sure that no one along the way had
Open their stuff.
opened anything. So and then when we get back into the village, we would go through that security check and then hop off, and we'd have the metal detectors, and it would go through our bags through the x-ray machine, and then we'd have to, with our accreditation, we would have to go in and they'd take a photo. And
what were the like COVID protocols and stuff? Were they like taking temperatures? Were they doing any of that stuff? Or
yeah, so we'd have to walk in and like get our temperature. We'd have put our hands up to a machine. It would tell you what your temperature was. We had an app that we had to fill out every day on whether we had symptoms and all that. We had to wear a mask if we weren't inside of our apartment. So every time we walked outside, we'd have to wear a mask. And in the cafeteria, there was all the like clear perspex up, so you couldn't even rarely hear the person sitting in front of you. Like you'd sit across from your teammate, but you couldn't really have a conversation. Yeah, we had to wear gloves while we were getting food and everything as well. So it was pretty
tight.
Yeah.
Did you have a roommate in your dorm?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's the living situation there? Like so you said you get an apartment. Like how many people are in there? What's that all like? Yeah,
so I had 6 in my. We'd go into one room, and there would be 3 other rooms, and we'd be paired up. We'd have a roommate in each one. A few of the other rooms were different. If there was 5, I think they had like 1 was a pair, and then the other 3 had rooms to themselves. So it varied. But yeah, I was roomed with someone. So
did you know them ahead of time?
Yes, from a teammate. Taylor Titsakronis was my our roommate. Yeah,
a former Bandit.
A former Bandit, yeah.
Yeah. What's next for you, Stacey? Would you consider playing in the 2028 Olympics?
Yeah, so like here in Australia, we might lose a bit of funding, so it'll be a bit hard for us to stay competitive a little bit. But I'm going to do my best to keep hanging around. I want to be at the World Champs next year over in Alabama. So I'm hoping with COVID, fingers crossed, we can head over there and get another World Cup in. And then, I mean, it's 7 years away, but I don't know. Like my plan is to just keep playing as long as I can right now and see where we go. If that takes me to LA, then I'd be more than happy to be there. So
sure, no, that'd be great.
Would you ever consider like coaching or anything like that?
Yeah, I would love to coach. I would actually love to come to America and be involved in one of the college teams over there. Once I've finished, or if there's opportunities. I mean, you don't know what can happen, right? Like take one up, it can lead further. So wherever, I suppose I've been to the Olympics now, that's where I wanted to go. So wherever my softball takes me now is where
this is definitely what you want to be doing, though. This is your life, huh?
Yeah, I love softball, and I can't imagine not being involved in one way or another. So maybe in 2032, I could be coaching the Aussie team. We don't know.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah. You never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you consider playing for the Athletes Unlimited, or what are your thoughts about that type of unique scoring system that they use?
Yeah, I think it's a great concept that they've had. And yeah, I mean, if I was asked to go over and play, I would think I'd definitely take up the opportunity and have a go. But yeah, I love the concept, and I wish we had that enough high level players in one city and be able to, pay our players to play at that level. That would be great. That's probably something that we want to have over here, but we just need some help.
John,
So you'd want to have that type of scoring system, like that type of league over there?
Yeah, I just think it would be great, and it would benefit the players to also think a bit more about the game rather than just getting out there and playing it, and have to think about who do I want on my team to benefit my team and get them to win, and doing stuff like that. It's very athlete driven, and although they do have the coaches or facilitators there, it is very athlete driven, and they get to choose who they want in their team, and the point system, getting points for a K2 or getting points for a safe hit, and then getting points for winning the innings, and then furthermore your team gets points for winning the game. I think it's a great concept, and it just and I think it just levels it out a little bit more because of the draft system. You can't have all 4 awesome pitchers in one team. It's got to go across the whole all 4 teams. So yeah, I think it's great, and it works really well over in America, I think.
For those I totally agree.
For those who may not know the difference, can one of you explain what the merit system in that is and how that works as opposed to just a regular softball league?
The players get points for essentially hits, runs, plays, defensive plays, and they also get points for team play. So if your team wins an inning, you get points. If your team wins a game, you get more points. If you get hits, if you're a pitcher and you get strikeouts, you get points. And then every week the teams are redrafted. The top 4 players become captains. They draft their own teams. As Stacey said, there's really no manager or coach. They have a facilitator with the players. It's a players-driven league. It's all about the players. Okay. Players make money based on bonuses, and then there's also bonuses go to every player has a chosen charity that part of their bonus money goes to that charity. There's no league champion. It ends up being one single champion. Last year it was Team USA's Olympian Kat Osterman, who's coming back this year to defend her title, and then she's retiring.
And how long has that been going on?
And last year was the first year. It runs for 5 weeks. It's 5 weekends, like 30 games in the whole season.
Wow. That's a pretty intense 5 weeks then, huh?
Yeah, it's going to start actually August 28th in Rosemont. This season 2 starts. So
yeah, I think they're all heading there now to start.
They are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to COVID, they're not letting us, the reporters, in there yet. But we're knocking. We're knocking on the door. Well, Stacey, we really appreciate her
day on already.
Stacey, we really, really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure watching you play in the United States the last few years. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. I love everybody out there. Your mom is such a sweet woman. It's such a wonderful experience getting to know you and the rest of the Australians. And thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. And congratulations on the Olympics.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. And again, congratulations to you. And best of luck to you. We'll be watching you, see where you end up, whether it's back on the field or in a coaching position. Just don't run backwards, No.
So. Oh, I know. Thank you so much for having me. And John, your support the past few years since I've joined the Bandits has been great. So I'm sure everyone back here be loving the support that you guys have give us Aussie athletes, and make us feel like home when we come back over there too.
Hey, you're one of us. So we appreciate it, and we thank you for your kind words.
No worries. Thank you.
You have a good day, Stacey.
All right, Stacey, take care. Thanks again.
See you guys.
Take care.
No worries.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.